Phat Guys at the movies.
Wait a minute. Did you say Phat Guys at the movies?
At the movies.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. And that's about the way they acted all the way through the movie.
Oh, you want to tell them what Jewel we watched this week?
Fast and Furious 6, the sixth transaction in the franchise.
You know, it took Rocky 4 decades to make 6 movies. These people have done it within a decade.
Yeah. And his sixth one was one of the best ones. Rocky Balboa.
Interesting. One of the most interesting, yeah. It pretty wasn't bad. But
yeah. And you know, Fast 5 was actually one of the better ones in the whole thing. I compare Fast 5 to the first one. And I figured they were going to bring this one out, and they were just going to really, well, we're giving our
Fast
review away.
4 was mid-grade at best. At best.
You mean
the Tokyo Drift thing sucked.
Yeah.
The second one sucked.
Right.
First one, so they made 2 good movies out of 5.
Yeah.
Now they're going for 3 for 3 with this one.
And I figured they were and there is going to be 7.
We know that there's going to be 7.
Yeah. But before we get into Fast and Furious, I want to give a little honorable mention here. I watched Hangover last night.
The third Hangover.
The third Hangover.
It's the year of sequels.
1, 2, 3. Yes. The third Hangover. Oliver didn't get to see it because he was actually having a hangover.
That is true, actually. That is not a lie. But, so, give us a little rundown here.
Well, it wasn't Hangover. Not one time in the entire movie did they get drunk. Not one time in the entire movie did they get high. Not that I condone any of that kind of stuff.
But hijinks still ensued, I would guess, right?
Well, actually, if it wasn't for Jake Galifianakis, whatever his name is, the guy from Greece.
The bearded troll.
Yeah.
Right.
If it wasn't for him and the guy that plays Chow, there wouldn't have been any funny in the movie at all.
Well, they're the funny guys.
Right.
They're the fun guys.
The rest of the guys were just kind of dead. John Goodman...
He's normally pretty funny.
I've never seen John Goodman he played a heavy straight man, and I don't mean straight as in his orientation.
You don't mean like Dan on Roseanne?
Yeah, no, I'm
Dan!
yeah, no, he was just a heavy. He was a heavy, and he was the straight guy in all the way through the movie.
Oh, that's disappointing.
So, yeah, but I will say this: there is a scene in the credits about maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds into the credits that make the whole movie worthwhile. I will say that one scene, as the credits start, after the credits start to roll, makes the whole movie worthwhile, and they get back to the what makes the Hangover movies what makes.
So, would you give the Hangover 3 a good rating?
2.
A 2.
A 2.
2 out of 5 for Hangover.
Hangover 3 gets 2. Hangover 2 got 1. Hangover 1 got 4. I got 3.
Okay.
How's that? So that kind of breaks it down. So
I'm confused. So you're giving it a 2.
I'm giving it a 2. It's better than the last one.
Right.
Not as good as the first one, and could have been better.
Okay, so a 2 out of 5 for Hangover 3. So what do you say we dive head first into this steaming pile we just saw?
Fast and Furious 6. I had to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I came into this thing with a lot of expectations because I really enjoyed. I've never been a big Fast and Furious guy. I liked the first one, and I could have done without 2, 3, and 4. And so I watched 5 because I could. Okay, when you work in a movie theater, and you get one of the perks is to get movies. You watch all the movies. I mean, there were 122 movies that showed up here last year. I watched 112 of them.
Forget about it.
Yeah, it was like 10 weeks of vacation, 10 days of vacation. But so I watched it because I could, and I really enjoyed it. It was very believable. It had great plot. It had some, it always has the great action, but it was all believable. It looks like something that could really happen. Then they get into Fast and Furious 6, and it's like they lost everything. Dwayne Johnson, all the way through the movie. I've been giving this guy kudos all year long to say that he's finally found his acting shoes. He lost them here. If a guy could figure out a way to stand through an entire movie with his hands on his hips going, Dwayne Johnson would get an Oscar. Because that's basically all he did in the movie, and jump from moving vehicles to moving vehicles. Okay? Vin Diesel was Vin Diesel, bald-headed, looking straight into the camera going, I'm Vin Diesel. But there were just the action. You got to give it to them. It was great. I have never seen a runway in this movie. They brought a plane down, a Russian transport jet, brought it down. It could happen, but the runway extended the entire state of New Jersey from north to south, and then probably went down through New Jersey into Virginia someplace. I mean, we're talking about a plane that landed on a runway, and it took 30 minutes of the movie, and this thing's still on the runway, and there was runway left over after the plane blew up. So there was just a lot of unbelievable parts to it. Now, there is a scene that comes into the credits that kind of just throws you where they're going in the next one, and by the time this video gets up, it's not. This is spoiler alert, because I don't mind giving this away. It looks like they're going to be Fast and Furious 7 against the Expendables, because Jason Statham's showing up. I'm waiting to see Stallone come in there and go, yo, 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 and Arnold Schwarzenegger says, hey, I'm Arnold, and we're going to go the Expendables against Fast and Furious 6. Well, if I gave Fast 5 about a 3.5, best I can do here is 2.25.
Well, I think Ken summed it up about the best it could be summed up. It was unrealistic. It was not fun. It had good action scenes, but anybody with a power PC and a home movie camera can do that nowadays. It's not a big deal. First problem with the movie is...
They made it.
I think you just summed it up. They made it. Never go 6 deep into a franchise. How about that? Unless you're Rocky and you spread it over many decades, maybe then you pull a good one out. This is not going to be an enjoyable film for anybody to watch with an IQ over 70. This is going to be a bad time. And also, don't go watch it in the theaters, because everybody under the age of 22 will come out to see it the first night. And it's going to be romper room behind you. And that's really aggravating for me. But this movie here it's total crap. I Ken gave it 2.25 stars. I'm going to give it 1.5. I will give you one redeemable part about this. Paul Walker's not the worst actor in the movie for the first time in the series. You agree with that?
I agree.
He's not the worst actor. The Rock was pretty terrible. I think Paul Walker was more believable than The Rock in this. And Vin Diesel, whew, thank God he's got Riddick. I don't know. But y'all give it 1.25. I'm not watching 7 because of this movie.
Well, next week there's 2 coming up.
Oh, jeez.
You got M. Night Shyamalan's After Earth with Will Smith and his son Jaden. And then you've got Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, Mark Ruffalo. I almost said Mark Zuckerberg. It's not Mark Zuckerberg. He played Mark Zuckerberg.
It should be. That's what we know it.
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg.
Without a hoodie.
Yeah, without a hoodie. Still acting like the total jerk that he wasn't in that. Anyway,
this time he's got a suit on.
And it's Now You See Me. So here's what we're going to do. Everybody else is going to review After Earth. We're going to review Now You See Me.
Yeah, I can't take another Will Smith movie either. I can't do it.
Now I am interested, though, in one of the things about this. There was a story that said that Jaden Smith grew 5 inches and put on 40 pounds during the filming of this movie. I'm wondering how they're going to incorporate that in the movie. He was in a growth spurt. You know how kids are.
What did they do, film it over a year's time?
I guess so, yeah.
Who grows, the normal film shoots, 45, 60 days?
Yeah, but he grew, it was either 4 or 5 inches and put on about 40 pounds during the course of the filming of this movie.
They said Yoda gained a little weight too in Attack of the Clones. They did CGI airbrush it right out.
That or Gadot.
Yeah, it's no problem. You just CGI that. No problem.
But Now You See Me looks really interesting. It's about a bunch of street magicians, that is, that kind of get into a little bit of robbery.
Maybe a little bit of robbery. Probably a whole lot of robbery.
And it's very obvious that there's some sort of cynical twist that takes place in this thing that I'm kind of looking forward to see. So we're going to review Now You See Me next week and let everybody else do After Earth. So we'll be different.
Yeah, and I can't take another Fast and Furious. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm over it. So
yeah.
As long as we don't have to see another race car movie where race cars took down a plane. This wasn't. This was not a.
Well, that was
single,
one of the things.
This
that I
was
found.
not a single engine Cessna here. This was a cargo plane.
Yeah, that's one of the things though that I found that
vehicles.
could have been somewhat believable
Come
because you grab
on.
the flaps, pop them off, the plane's going to come down.
They
But-
were hanging by the wings two
Yeah.
at a time,
yeah,
floating around.
but the fact that it took them 30 minutes on a runway that stretched.
you see the car there?
Actually, you know, when you think about it, I think if that runway started in New York City, it probably would have ended somewhere around Miami.
I mean, they were like
Yeah.
kites up there
Yeah.
on the wing. These cars just flapping around, trying to
And,
bring this thing down.
You know, I did. There was one great line. You might want to buckle up.
We're trying to bring down a plane. Buckling up's out of the question. Yeah.
Yeah. And
We're
now,
gonna worry about buckling up.
and I do want to add too. It's obvious that The Rock did a little choreography in here because there was some really cool. I give him that. There were some really cool wrestling moves in this movie.
Yeah, they did actually fight well in the fight scenes.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. And The Rock is definitely on the juice. Can we agree with that?
What, the fact that his arms are bigger than my thighs? Come on. Why would that make you think he's on the juice?
Yeah, he's got.
Yeah, and he spent the whole movie going.
Well, he couldn't do anything else because he's so bloated and big now.
When he was,
He has to walk through doorways like this because he couldn't put his arms down by his side. And I'm telling you, he's on the horse steroids or something. Something's going on there.
yeah, he's following his idol Sylvester Stallone. So so next week, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and a host of others in Now You See Me, and this Phat Guys at the Movies. Next week is Now You See Me, and here it is, Now You Don't.